Hey, what is up, everybody? This is steviebreech coming to you here today on my way home from work. We are winding our way down. We got the NFC Championship game against the Detroit Lions. Man, oh man, did I eat my words. I all week long, I really had no nerves about the Green Bay Packers. I woke up, honestly, I kind of had to remind myself that it was Saturday and the Niners played that day. I had no nerves of, the big one was here. Kind of the same way I felt when we played the Packers, the NFC Championship game back in early 2020 before we went to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. But man, that was a fucking game. And I'll tell you the truth, 100%. From the time they went to halftime until McCaffrey broke that touchdown in the fourth quarter, I was eating my words huge. Green Bay Packers, damn good team. Deserve to be there. Probably going to be there again. And they're probably going to be better. That's the God's honest way to put it. Detroit Lions. To me, they've never been to a Super Bowl. They got that working against them. But this team, honestly, led by Coach Campbell, seems like it's a different kind of team. They're really, going over how he's built this team in the last 3 years since he took the job. They brought in Gibbs. A lot of people talked about them drafting a running back, I believe, with the 13th pick in the draft, how that's kind of become a no-no, that you don't take a running back that high unless, they think he's going to be like the next, Emmitt Smith or anything like that. But with him, and I believe it's Montgomery, the running back that came over from the Bears, they have just been on a tear. And I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you this much. I really still feel like the Niners are a special team. I'm not scared of the Lions. I know that it's going to be a game, and we're going to have to get in it, and we're going to have to get our fists in the mud. We're going to have to get in the grip with these guys, and we're going to have to grind it out. That's what style of game this is going to be. The Niners, definitely this last week have really shown a lot of points that I can point at and be like, this is what I don't like about the team. Maybe you can put it off and say that, it was the rain, that Brock Purdy wasn't really out there, out there just really controlling the game. I don't want to say he looked scared, but he definitely was not throwing the ball with the accuracy that he normally does. And a few of the balls, like the one ball that Juan Jennings caught in the fourth, where he went across the middle and then he had to jump like a body length high in the air to bring that ball down. You can even tell that Brandon Ayuk was surprised with a camera shot from the opposite end zone down where you're looking through Brandon Ayuk as Jennings is making the catch. I don't even think Ayuk thought that ball was catchable. He came to a stop. He didn't continue his run. Maybe he was trying to get in a position if the ball was tipped in any way that he'd be able to get it, but he immediately started rooting for Jennings the second that he caught the ball. That was a big fucking play. As of right now, Deebo Samuel, they've gone over his shoulder. He's got no break in it, but he has said that he is going to try his best to be out there on the field. The 49ers, on the opposite, have said they don't know when Deebo Samuel will be able to play. To me, that's alarming. They're not throwing it out that they're not saying, they said we don't know. But they're not even like, to me, that doesn't even have a window of like, we're going to see if there's a chance for him to play on Sunday. They didn't even give a chance to say, like, no matter what, he's going to be good for the Super Bowl in 3 weeks. I don't know how to take this. This is the same shoulder injury. They kept him out. I believe it was 2 weeks on the beginning of the skid. I believe it was the Cleveland and Cincinnati game that Deebo didn't play. And they were a different 49er team. I mean, like, the way that they looked at, like, the average yards per play when Deebo plays and when Deebo's not on the field is astonishing. Not the plays that go through Deebo, all the plays. 49ers is a different style of guy. I've always thought that once they start going over and they start crunching the numbers, that Brandon Ayuk is the one guy that I don't want to lose. But you got to give all the respect on Deebo's name. I mean, he's a heart in the locker room. He's one hell of an athlete. I don't know if you want to call this guy a running back that plays wide receiver. He still has the play that they call it. They definitely don't call it as much as they did before McCaffrey came to the team, which really opened up him as a receiver again. But we got to have that guy. We got to have everybody. I mean, that's just the way it is. We got to move that fucking football. We got to use the pass to set up the run. We got to use the run to set up the pass. We got to do all that jazz. So the word on Deebo, honestly, doesn't really all sound that good. Defense. I've talked about it a lot of times in these videos that the secondary scares me. I read one thing about the referee that was scheduled to come to the NFC Championship game and ref our game. I guess he reffed a 49er game in week 4. I believe it was against the Cardinals. He called 3 defensive pass interference calls against the 49ers. Out of all the refs in the NFL, he called more pass interference calls this season than anyone else. We had 3 big pass interference calls. Pass interference calls, to me, honestly, sometimes there's good ones and sometimes there's bad ones. Sometimes you just know your beat, you reach out, you grab that guy, you're doing anything to contain him not to catch that ball. You know that the penalty is going to be called, but you don't get the yards after the catch. You just get where the catch was supposed to be. Sometimes you give some of those up and it is what it is, and that's the way it's going to do it. No matter how good the cornerback is, cornerback's going to get beat every once in a while. I'll give it to Charvarius Ward. He had one hell of a year. I believe he earned himself a Pro Bowl spot. He's a dude. He's a dog. I love having him on my team. When it comes to safeties and other cornerbacks on the team, it's definitely the weakest spot on the team. But as of right now, I'm more scared than anything else about the defensive line of the 49ers. Nick Bosa, Greenlaw, Chase Young. I didn't see him hit the quarterback one time in that last game. You know, when he came over in the deal with the Washington Commanders, the big thing for me was like, okay, we're going to be applying pressure to the quarterback. We're going to be getting there one step earlier. Not only do we have like 2 really, really good guys rushing in, now we got 3. We're going to be coming from every direction. They can't double everybody. Hell, the one move I really saw Bosa do this week was the stop play that was against the run, where they tried to double him, and he was able to split the double. He went right between the 2 dudes to make the hit and stop the run. But it seems to me that the last few games, not counting the Rams game, people have ran on us at will. And when it really comes to the teams that gave us the most pressure, I remember going back earlier in the year, is mobile quarterbacks that move around in the backfield were giving us a lot of trouble. I'm scared that we don't have a defense that can stop the run. You can't really look at Fred Warner and be like, you stop everything from here on out. They're going to rush the quarterback. You stop the running back. That's just really just not the way it works. So that really does scare me. We're going to have to put up points. We're going to have to get ahead in this game, which is something that I can't really remember the last time we have done that. We've came back in a lot of games, and that takes guts. That takes just getting it down in the fourth quarter, where sometimes Brock Purdy has shown that he is the quarterback that we thought he is. And that takes heart. That's when guys step it up. But we got to step it up in the first. We got to put points on the board. We got to, put Detroit on that whole we're playing from behind. We got to take some chances. Sometimes you win on those, and sometimes you don't. To get back into a football game. I would love to say that we're just gonna blow out Detroit, but this is the NFC Championship game. There's only 2 teams left, and they deserve to be there. I mean, they've built this team up. They got a really good defensive line, led by Hutchinson, number 2 pick from Michigan last year. Hell of a team. I mean, I remember when they traded their running back to the Eagles. It was kind of like, why would you do this? Like, why are you making? Why are you just like trying to make the Eagles better? But in the end, they made a move. The Eagles definitely took a step back this season, and Detroit, took a step up. Niners offense, it is what it is. As long as we got no rain, maybe we get the normal Brock Purdy that we're used to seeing. We saw him with the glove. We saw him without the glove. But if you go back and you watch those snaps during the game, you can see him like wiping his hands on his jersey before the snap. I really, honestly don't at any time ever remember him doing that on the line. Maybe paying closer attention to him, trying to figure out, why he didn't really have his rhythm, why he wasn't with it. Maybe it's just the fact that he hadn't really played in 3 weeks. Sometimes you need some rest, and sometimes, some rest is too much rest. There's not really much you can say about McCaffrey. Dude's a dog. I honestly believe that he should be up there in the MVP talks. I definitely think that he's in your top 3, top 4 dude in the league. I was saying that even before Brock Purdy kind of took a step back at the end of the season. I definitely don't think the 49ers are the team that they are now without him. Elijah Mitchell, one hell of a running back. He hasn't really seen action that much this year. I was honestly thinking that might have been a tricky play for them. Elijah Mitchell didn't really play much this season. He did have an injury during the season, but I thought maybe having him have fresh legs would have been fun. But I didn't really see him touch the ball in this last game at all. That was pretty much what happened all season. McCaffrey is a dog. You got to have him out there. And any play could be the play to make it happen. We saw him, read the blocks and hit the seams, and that touchdown in the 4th was huge. We don't have Deebo Samuel. That's going to put a lot of pressure on our receivers. Brandon Ayuk, Pro Bowl. No, he didn't get an invite to the Pro Bowl, but he was a second team All-Pro this year. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. We know that guy's a dog. That guy is awesome. Juan Jennings, former Tennessee Bull. I've always said that, once, he's catching the ball, you really know the offense is running at 100 because they're moving it around. That being said, it's definitely going to be a huge step. I don't even know the guy's name. I believe it was number 84. He had a big catch in the 4th quarter. Love to see that. But we need Deebo. I mean, that's really the only way it is. Zach Ertz signed with the Detroit Lions today. Zach Ertz was with the Seahawks. Then he was with the Cardinals. He asked to be cut by the Cardinals. And a lot of people thought he was going to go right back to Seattle. I believe that when that happened, it was right before the 49ers Seattle game. So we thought we were honestly going to see him. I'll say this much. Zach Ertz was one hell of a player. He had his day. But I don't think he would have sat on the sideline for so long if he was really going to make that big of a difference. Somebody would have called him. Somebody would have brought him in. Or did Zach Ertz come from the Eagles? I can't remember. Shoot. I think Zach Ertz came Philly, and it was right before the Philly 49er game. I think I messed that up, but I think I corrected it. Not 100% sure right there. But we're going to have to see what these guys can do. It's going to be one hell of a weekend. It's going to be one hell of a game. We got the Royal Rumble on Saturday. Then we got the AFC NFC championship game. The NFC game is going to be the main event. Shoot, I can't remember what time that the game freaking starts at. I think it starts at 3:30 my time, 6:30 East Coast time if you're out there. But I'm pumped. I'm really, really pumped. I'm not nervous about it, but I am thinking about it, if that makes a lot of sense. So I don't really have that dickish kind of like we're going to kick the shit out of them kind of feeling. I know that a lot of people are rooting against us. A lot of people want to see Detroit go to their first Super Bowl. And I'm just saying, hey, I hope it happens someday, but I hope it doesn't happen this year right here, because this is the 49ers year. 49ers, step ahead. I would rather play Kansas City over playing Baltimore. Baltimore beat the shit out of us not that long ago. I don't remember how many weeks ago that was, but still get woken up in a cold sweat because of that game. But you never know. I mean, what could happen? We'll see what goes down. But I think we owe Kansas City one. Would love to see Kansas City in the Super Bowl against us. That would be a lot of fun. So we'll have to see. It's hard to place that bet against Patrick Mahomes, I'll tell you that much. So, whoa, 17 minutes. That's a good one. We got Detroit versus San Francisco, NFC Championship game. Let's go.